Help support the show. Become a member and send a super chat. We do it for you, and we do it for the culture. Also, please remain respectful in the comments. As always, guys, the people that watch the show are the lifeblood of the show. We just ask that you remain respectful in the comment section. People do have differing opinions, and that's okay. Just like I said, be respectful and help support the show by becoming a member and or sending a super chat while we're live. All monies that are earned through the channel go back into the channel.
Come and fly away with me. 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 Don't you be afraid, everything will change. You and I jumping off the edge. They say dreamers never die. So come and fly, come and fly, come and fly away with me. We're rising, we're falling, we're making through. We're climbing, we're soaring, 1,000
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Pop Culture Corner. This is the Pop Culture Update live with your host, T.Y. Ty. I am so happy to be here tonight, guys. I got adrenaline running through my veins. So much to talk about in so little time. Before we get into all that, guys, make sure to smash that like button, share the show across social media and to the stars above. And subscribe for more content like this. We have so much coming, whether it's gaming, movie, TV, so much. And help support the show. I need to feed my dog. All right? Can I put it any simpler? I need to feed my dog. Support the show. Become a member, send a super chat. Logan needs food. Just kidding. No, he really doesn't need food. All right. All monies goes back into the channel, guys. As always, I love you all. I truly do. I truly. I'm joined tonight by Mr. The Most Meta and Eddie Oh My Diaz. What's going on, boys?
What's going on, Alvin?
Yeah, what's up?
What's going on to all you positive people of the Pop Culture Corner? Hashtag Logan needs food.
Hashtag Logan needs food. I wasn't kidding. We're in dire need of food. We're in dire need of Logan to be fed. So send a super chat, guys. Send a super chat. No, in all reality, guys, we have so much to discuss. I do want to open it up and say this first. 2022 has been such a crazy year already. And I know content hasn't been as regular as it was in 2021. Jack has left the show. Austin has left the show, and presumably Caden has left the show. So it's just me and Meta. And then we're trying to build a coalition of smaller YouTubers that get together and promote positivity. So if that sounds like you, definitely DM either myself or Meta, and we'll put you in touch with the right people, and we'll get that situated. We'll get it situated. Like I said, it's a place for positivity. It's a place for collaboration. It's a place where we can all get together and support each other. So again, super fun. Also, final talks with Showcase have happened, and I have an announcement to make, but I cannot do it yet. I know. I've been teasing it for quite some time now, but I still can't say anything until a certain date. So yeah, like I said, like and share. Follow us on social media. Become a member. Remember, we do it for you. We do it for the culture. And subscribe for more content like this, guys. We love you. And let's get into our first topic. It's so much easier with the producer. Our first topic of the day. Alrighty, so a recent trailer dropped for Doctor Strange 2. And I want to discuss some possibilities here. Now, I bring this up because so we're painting Wanda in a lot of red, right? And Doctor Strange, is usually painted in a red hue. So the camera shots in Doctor Strange and Endgame and Infinity War, he has a lot of red to him with his cape, etc., so on and so forth. Sorry, I forgot to bring you guys back in. But in this film, he's wearing a lot of blue, and that's to contrast Wanda's red chaos magic. I think Wanda is being set up as a villain for Phase 4. What do you guys think about that?
I am currently trying to find something that basically summarizes what I think. I think that's a misdirection. Marvel loves to throw misdirections at people or at us, the audience, and I think that's a misdirection.
Okay. Yeah, that could definitely be the case. I'm just saying, Wanda, there's a part where Wanda talks about, if I do this, I'm evil. I'm going to be the bad one. And she's referring to it,
Westview.
It's Westview, yes. But Wanda, I think, has an arc that is far from over, and I'm excited to see where she goes, and where her story takes her. Doctor Strange 2, this movie is going to be insane. Patrick Stewart, Sir Patrick Stewart, kind of confirmed. Definitely not, 100%, but it's like 98% a voice match. So, I'm super excited about Doctor Strange 2, and I think there's so many cameos and people talking about Superior Iron Man, people talking about America Chavez. These are all great things because the marketing for Doctor Strange is perfect right now. It really is. It is literally getting people's attention, and it's getting attention in the right way. I really am excited for this movie. Now, on a 1 to 10 scale, guys, how excited for Doctor Strange 2 are you?
When it comes to me, I am excited for the movie. I did enjoy the first one. Not as much as the other MCU installments, but no, I'm excited for the multiverse, to see the multiverse, to see all the possible cameos we could get. 'Cause we heard lots of stuff about the rumors of who could show up, and we see some teasers about it too. I think it's gonna be a great movie. Sam Raimi, being tied behind this is gonna be awesome to see these horror elements too that they were talking about in this movie. And by the trailer alone, it looks like this is gonna be a scary MCU movie. But I want to see. I just want to be surprised by all the cameos and obviously the big bad, because I don't know if it's gonna be Wanda, even though you said it might be TV.
No, I'm not saying that Wanda is going to be the big bad of this movie. I'm saying I think she's being set up as a villain for the future. Like, something's gonna go wrong, and after this film, she's going to be in a bad place and even worse than Westview, and that will lead down a path of destruction.
It's possible, but in my opinion, I think it's gonna be one of these movies where she sees the errors of her ways. She does get to a point where she does get villainy, but then by the end of the movie, she'll just go back to being the way she is, like how she was before. I think that's how that's gonna turn out, in my opinion. She's gonna see the error of her ways and stuff.
Connie Wesley says Grace was right about the Snyderverse is out. We see old Keaton as Batman. That is one of the topics that we do have today. So do not worry, we are getting there slowly but surely. I just wanted to kind of briefly touch on the Doctor Strange trailer, as you know, there's so much to break down, so many things happening in that trailer that it's hard to even focus. All right, so on to our next topic, which will be Metaverse talking about something in the gaming world. So Meta.
All right, welcome to Meta's Rapid Fire Topics, where I'm going to talk about a lot of different gaming stuff. Not like as fast as I possibly can, but just give my overall thoughts and what I think of all this. And we're going to start off with news that literally happened at the end of January. I hadn't had a time to discuss it on my own channel, and I did. That was on purpose. But anyway, so last month, Microsoft acquired Activision in one of the biggest acquisitions in the gaming industry, period. This was not to counteract that. However, it is still equally a big one. Sony owns Bungie. Sony owns the company that made Halo now.
Oh man.
And that's just seen as like a topsy-turvy world we live in. Apparently this deal has been in the works for months now. It just feels like it happened so sudden after the Microsoft buyout of Activision. Excuse me. But what's even more interesting is, and I don't think it's relating to Microsoft, because everyone was wondering if Call of Duty would be an exclusive to Xbox's brand, or would it stay multi-platform? Well, a few weeks ago, really, Microsoft came out and confirmed that Call of Duty will remain multi-platform even after the agreements with PlayStation are over. Yes, this is very good news. There's two reasons why they did this, in my opinion. One is it's kind of a friendly handshake between Sony and Xbox. Like, Xbox has Call of Duty and PlayStation now has Destiny. Destiny is now a PlayStation IP, and it's one of those things where it's like, as long as you keep COD on our consoles, we'll keep Destiny on yours. Another reason why I think they did it, though, is to make their acquisition of Activision go through more smoothly with the FTC. That way, it's not as monopolistic of a takeover as it is appearing to be. And if COD is going to remain multi-platform, it's safe to say that a lot of Activision IPs should remain multi-platform, like Crash, Spyro, Tony Hawk, and so on.
Right.
And that's some pretty big news.
That is.
Moving on to real quick, just to speed, because there's been a lot of news this February. So last week, was it last week? Yes, it was last week. It was last Wednesday, to be exact. Nintendo had a direct where they announced a bunch of the new games. We got a new Fire Emblem game coming out that's in the vein of Dynasty Warriors. We have a brand new Mario Strikers game. That's big because there hasn't been a Mario Strikers game since the Wii in the mid 2000s. They showed off the Splatoon multiplayer that's like zombies. They showed off a lot of Kirby's new open world game, and that looks fun. They showed Nintendo Switch Sports, which that's going to sell 100,000 units.
Yeah, easy.
Mario Kart 8 is getting more courses, which means your ass ain't getting Mario Kart 9 until the next console. You ain't getting shit, boy. And then they announced Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I think last year or the year before last, they re-released the first one on the Switch. The second one did really good numbers, and so did the first one. So Xenoblade Chronicles 3 made sense. Now the only one that's left is the one on the Wii U, and that one hasn't been ported over yet. Moving on to more recent news, yesterday, Capcom has teased something is coming next Monday. No one knows what it is. Some are saying it may be a new Resident Evil, maybe a new expansion for Resident Evil. Some are saying it may be the return of maybe a tease at Resident Evil 4 remake. But I'm going to throw a wild card into the speculation pool.
Okay.
I think that it's going to be Capcom announcing they're acquired by Sony.
What is Sony just buying everything and anything?
The gaming industry is getting a lot more narrowed down. We're seeing a lot of acquisitions happen, Ty, and I think that Ubisoft and Capcom are the next two to get bought up. Microsoft isn't going to be able to buy another company for a while, but PlayStation does have revenue to buy companies, and unlike Xbox, they have a demographic and market and a share in the Eastern gaming industry with Capcom, Square Enix, all these JRPG makers. So I think they could acquire Capcom, and that might be the news to announce the acquisition, because that was one of the rumored ones they were going to get besides like Take-Two and Square Enix. And let's see. Speaking of Take-Two, this is something that's kind of a mixture of both our worlds, Ty. Just announced today at Netflix, BioShock is being made into a movie. Let's go. I'm ready.
I'm ready too. I'm ready
They
too.
need to nail this. They need
Dude,
to nail this.
Netflix?
BioShock.
Netflix is on mother point.
Yes.
Did you guys see the trailer for the Adam Project?
Oh my God.
Sean
They're on-
O'Connell, who I recently had on, saw a rough cut. Now, if you head over and watch my interview with Sean O'Connell, we talk about his new book, With Great Power, which is all about Spider-Man and his role in pop culture. But we also talked a little bit about Ryan Reynolds' next sci-fi film, The Adam Project. The trailer came out for it, and oh my God, does it look so good. Netflix is just on fire.
They have all their Netflix's niche is just gaming stuff, from The Witcher to the Castlevania series to Sonic to Cyberpunk to BioShock to Cuphead. They have so many gaming IPs that they are making shows out of, and I'm all for it because Netflix has been on fire with nailing this stuff. Castlevania was a fantastic series. I cannot wait for the spinoff. And The Witcher, I haven't gotten to The Witcher yet still, but I do know that The Witcher is a very acclaimed. It's such an acclaimed series.
I hate you so much that you haven't seen The Witcher. Like
I want to play the
games.
It
literally infuriates me.
I want to play the games before I get to the series. I'm sorry. But that's not all the gaming news that I have in terms of entertainment like that. Paramount announced today that Sonic the Hedgehog is getting a third movie, as well as a Knuckles spinoff with Idris Elba reprising his role as Knuckles.
What? Let's go!
We are eating. We are just feasting today.
Dude,
like,
a Knuckles spinoff.
Let's go.
Just his intro into the trailer of Sonic 2
is amazing.
Was amazing. And as
Do I
fans,
look like I need your power?
Oh my God. It gave me quivers and shivers. By the way,
and
also
he said that voice wasn't going to be sexy.
Yeah, oh my God. If there was not a more perfect voice for Knuckles than Idris Elba,
I would have still loved to hear what Momoa would sound like.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think Elba. I'm happy. We're eating.
we're
eating.
satisfied. We're at ecstasy. Yeah. We're fine here.
But I also did a video a while back about the top 5 characters that I'd like to see show up in Sonic sequels. And I fully anticipated in that video that they were going to be building a Sonic universe, right? Because there's so much, and Meta and I spoke about it before the show. There's so much lore because the games
are so expansive.
They're so expansive, and they introduce so many characters and backstory on so many characters. Like people not only played the games, but they fell in love with the characters, right? Shadow is amongst Meta and I's one of our favorite characters.
Shadow the Hedgehog, the game, is an underrated game, and those that hate it don't understand how cultured it is.
Right. So Meta and I are surely going to be doing the Sonic stuff together.
Absolutely.
Because of our love for Sonic.
You see, they're bringing back the classic games to modern consoles. Like it's Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic 3, and Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
Really?
Yeah, that's coming some point this year, as well as a brand new open world Sonic game.
Huh. Interesting.
What's interesting is that Sonic and Kirby have not had an open world game like this before, but Mario has. Like, I don't know what's taking them this long, but whatever, to each his own. The last quick bit of gaming news I have, and this just came out today. I know that the Cyberpunk 2077 isn't everyone's cup of tea, and it has a little bit of a history, but today the 1.5 patch just came out, and with that comes the next gen upgrade for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series S and X, as well as a number of DLCs and patches and added gameplay.
Cyberpunk's getting an update, right?
Yeah.
Cyberpunk's getting an update for next gen consoles. Do you think that that's going to help it?
So they've already been doing a lot to fix this game, like, over time, but this was the big thing they wanted for 2022. And I hope that it does something for it, because I mean, this game is never going to reach the pinnacle that people want it to, just because, like, there was way too much hype around it to live up to people's expectations. But it has to be better than it was at launch. In fact, Jason Schreier jokingly tweeted out, happy release of next gen console versions of Cyberpunk, which honestly should have been its release date probably. Like, and I mean, like, they show, like, there's a chart here that shows, like, if you go to the Cyberpunk 2077's Twitter page, it shows, what's in the PS5 version, what's in the Series X and S versions, and the PS4, Xbox One, PC, and Stadia. The fact that there's still a Google Stadia version of this game and they're supporting it is just mind-boggling.
Did you hear that Apple is developing their own system?
Oh, God.
Yeah, so Apple is currently in the development stages of creating their own console, similar to Google Stadia.
Good luck.
In the sense that, well, I mean, think about it. PC,
Google Stadia bombed.
No, but I'm relating it to Stadia because of what it's not Microsoft or Sony, right? Those two have the market cornered for that and
Nintendo.
I'm sorry.
Nintendo's doing their own thing, but yeah.
But Nintendo's like in a different category. But as far as consoles go, the main two are PlayStation and Xbox. And I think Apple, and I think Stadia tried to do this as well, is try to impede on that monopolization between, because it's a 50-50 split. Well, not really, because PC is big
it's about 25% each, or so and so. Give or take.
25% PlayStation, 25% Xbox, and then
75% Nintendo. Because Nintendo Switch is still PC? Selling out. Oh, okay. Yeah, take that back. You're correct. 25% for PC. Yeah, it's evenly split between those four.
Okay.
I'm just trying to say that the Switch has been, like, the Switch just outsold the original PlayStation. The Switch's numbers are still going up, like, this late into its life cycle.
Right. But it's also limited in what you can play.
That is true.
So I don't know. And this is just me, like a general gamer, not like whatever.
As long as
Dying Light 2, I don't know what this is.
Dying Light 2 is a zombie game, and that game has had a mixed reception as well, from what I've heard. But as long as Apple doesn't exactly repeat what Google did, because Google messed up the moment they said it's all digital, all streaming, and on top of, their model was just terrible. Their model for a gaming console was just terrible. Streaming gaming, games being streamed is going to be a way to play games in the future, but right now internet connections are not that strong like around the world to
No,
where that
you
can
would
be
need you would
reliable.
need yeah, you would need gig speeds just to just to you need gig because the problem isn't the download speeds, it's the
It's upload.
upload. Because our upload speeds, no, because even myself, right? Streaming is upload technically.
Yeah.
So to upload or to stream in 4K is still impossible. To stream in 4K is not possible. And
Yeah.
no one can do it. To stream in 1080p is hard enough, and it costs a butt ton of money. A butt ton of money. So again, like we know that formula isn't working yet. It's it's just not there. But yeah, dude, Meta, thank you for that gaming expose little we'll come up with like a segment. I like the getting into gaming segment. So
Absolutely.
But it was weird.
no, it wasn't, Grace. It was fine. He did great.
You can't make this shit up.
I'm looking forward to all the Sonic content.
Dude, me too, man. Me too. All right, guys, on to our next topic, which I'm sure will excite everybody here because it has to do with the DCEU. All right, guys. So basically, some photos have been coming out from the Batgirl set. Now we showed you a couple the other day. They're very far away. You could tell it's the Keaton suit, etc., so on and so forth. But today, I think it was today, these started coming out. Now, Jim Gordon. Now, the only issue I have is J.K. Simmons dyeing his hair. I mean, that is not this Jim Gordon. I mean, it is, but it isn't. Why? I don't get it. I don't get the different look. I don't understand it. Unless he's going through a midlife crisis.
I could probably explain it.
Well,
go ahead.
Jim Gordon, when he was younger, had that colored
yeah,
supposed to be red hair.
It's a brownish red. Yeah,
brownish red. My theory is that these are potentially maybe flashback scenes, and they're going to de-age Keaton's like chin area, so that this is back when him and whichever Robin he has were still fighting crime in Gotham.
So what you're saying is that Ben Affleck's Batman they're retconning him out
Potentially.
because that's no, not potentially. If you're talking about a flashback, then and Michael Keaton is in the flashback with Jim Gordon, you're basically saying that the Flash retcon Ben out because that there's no way this is the Zack Snyder Jim Gordon. We know who Keaton's Jim Gordon was. It wasn't him.
Yeah, but his Jim Gordon's dead. Like the actor's dead.
Right, but you get what I'm saying, right?
I get what you're saying. But that's the point of Flashpoint is to retcon stuff. Flashpoint is to make.
By the way,
retcon and
the Keaton suit looks
fire,
magnificent. Magnificent.
This is the best version of that suit.
Yeah, hands down. And it was always going to be because the technology, the where we've come in suit making. I do love the black on black look, like the black belt on black look.
It looks like a shinier black compared to Burton's actual like bat suits. Like it's a different material.
Guys, what do you guys think in the comments? Do you think that the Flash is going to retcon so that in Batgirl, Jim Gordon Yeah, we know it's a stunt double. What do you mean? That's a stunt
I
double
wonder if they
suit.
fix it to where Michael Keaton can turn his head.
We know it's a
Oh,
stunt double suit. The stunt doubles wear and it is a very similar suit. Um, Stunt doubles don't wear alternate suits unless I mean, I'm sure the suit has its differences because of angles and all that, but for the most part, they're very similar. Been on enough sets to know that. Uh, Keaton's still looking good in the bat suit. No, it's not him. Oh, I see where you're going with that now. No, so that's not Keaton. That is a stuntman. So that's definitely not Keaton. Uh, but so basically what I'm saying is I am nervous that the Snyderverse, as like, because if the Flash retcons and gets rid of Ben Affleck, the internet is going to explode. It's going to explode. I think a door should be left open.
I don't know. I mean, I hate all these deniers. It's obvious at this point
Listen,
that he's
listen,
gone.
listen.
Oh,
I'm a Snyderverse guy, but also I'm a realist. I can read the writing on the wall. Ben doesn't want to do the job anymore, right? For the most part, it seems that way.
I mean, yes.
However, if Zach were to ever be brought back, again, all speculative, or the conditions were right, we wouldn't want to have closed that door. I mean, even though the Toby door was closed and it was opened for No Way Home, I get no door that's shut, especially looking over at No Way Home, no door that's shut is locked in terms of the multiverse. So
never say never.
never say never. So guys, what do you think of all this? What do you think of all this? Black Adam looks magnificent. And it doesn't need to connect to a larger universe in order to be successful because it takes place when it does. So I find that DC has the most success when the films don't try so hard to connect to the larger universe. So I'm hopeful for Black Adam. But for Batgirl and The Flash, by the way, this look reminds me so much of Joss Whedon's 2017 look of when he saves the Russian family that like it gives me nightmares. But what do you guys think of where the DCEU is headed right now and what it looks what looks to be the case? Hi, Casey.
When what comes to how I feel about it, I think the DCU is at a better place. To be honest with you, I mean, I know. Look, I'm a Snyder guy myself. Even though I put DC first, so that's why I really don't care that much. If I still want the other two movies, Justice League movies, but if they don't happen, I'm not gonna cry about it.
I'm
or
not gonna
anything like
lose
that.
sleep. Yeah.
Yeah, because plus, like I just stated, I'm happy with the direction they're going. I think it started with Aquaman when they started making more lighthearted movies, focusing on comedy or at least different styles and tones with the other directors like James Wan, James Gunn, all that stuff. So I think, look, you say what you want about the DCU, especially the hardcore Snyder fans, but the general audience is liking these movies. The majority of the DC fandom is enjoying these movies even more. Even the critics are enjoying these movies. I get it, the box office, there is a difference. I'm not gonna lie. Yes, Aquaman did make $1 billion, but some of these other movies aren't doing the same as when the universe first started with Zack Snyder. But I think more people are enjoying this version of the DCU than the one from before. And look,
Yeah.
when it comes to when it comes to Black Adam, the movie looks like it's gonna be stunning to look at, like Man of Steel vibes. Because Man of Steel was a good movie to look at. Like the older visuals were good. I think the costumes were cool. I think this really is gonna be a very good movie. The Flash, I get it. The Flash is the one that everyone's really looking at. Yes, people are hating on it so much, especially on Twitter of all places. But that's the movie everyone's to see. if it happens or not, what everyone fears. Yes, I think the Ben Affleck factor is already obvious because if he's not done with Batman, then why isn't he in Batgirl? Because obviously that's a DCU movie, Batgirl.
Right.
So yeah, that's seeing Michael Keaton there in general, it's like, yeah, he's done. And yeah, that was a flashback scene. So that shows you that no, he's been Batman from the beginning in the DCU now. They retcon, Ben Affleck out of that universe. It's like
right.
and I think going back to the Flash, I think that people just had to wait and see, have an open mind. I think there could be a good story there. Look, when it comes to the first of all, at least this is a win for me because BBS doesn't exist anymore, so I'm happy.
Damn,
What?
shots fired.
That was a shot fired, bro.
Hey,
What?
Eddie, that's what Eddie does, though, bro. He shoots from the hip.
But no, I think be open minded. It could be. A good
What about the
story there.
Ultimate Edition? How do you feel about the Ultimate Edition?
It's
I think
even worse.
I think
No.
it's the same thing. I think it's the same movie.
Did you just say?
I think it's the same movie.
Bro, this is like
doesn't
OK
matter.
Corral. He's just killing everyone.
I think that
I will
movie-
fucking murder you if you ever say that it's a worse movie than the theatrical cut, because it's not. That's a
Jesse
blatant
Eisenberg
lie.
sucks.
But I'm looking forward to the Flash. Look, the multiverse aspects. Seeing Keaton obviously is to be cool. Supergirl's to be cool, and just see what because we didn't even know who the hell the main villain is. So we just had to wait and see what happens with that story. But look, I get people can keep shitting on it all they want because they think if it does erase the Snyderverse, then it is what it is. I'm not, like I said, I'm not gonna lose sleep over it. But
We're not gonna lose
maybe
sleep.
it won't. Maybe it won't.
We're gonna move on. Again, at the heart of it, right? What do we want?
Um,
Come on, it's an
stories.
obvious answer.
no Zack Snyder.
Someone just said it.
Good stories.
Good stories to be told. That's all we want as DC fans, regardless of Zack Snyder. We need good stories to be told. That's it. Plain and simple. Good stories. Interconnection, maybe, here and there, right? But don't try so hard to interconnect that it takes away from the film that you're currently, working on. The Shazam didn't try so hard to connect. Did well. Joker. What? I'm just gonna move on. Joker.
Perfect example. Oh boy.
Joker did well. Robert Pattinson's Batman movie, who I've talked to 3 people that have seen it already. 9 out of 10 is what they're saying. So these movies that don't try to connect, and Black Adam, which I think is going to be a film that doesn't try to connect to a larger universe, but is still part of it. The Suicide Squad, for the most part. All these movies did well, and they didn't have to connect to the Snyderverse, right? I think Warner Brothers and eventually Discovery is now seeing the Snyderverse is not the only option. Yes, we can pull from it, and we can expand upon it if we need to, or if we want to financially. That's okay. But the direction we're going in right now is pretty solid. I'm liking it.
I remember when it was first announced, and I was like literally one of the only ones at the time. Not saying that y'all weren't going to be for it, but I was just like, this looks fine. This is interesting. This is different. Not even the comics have done this. Like,
right.
That's what I love about it. But like, Ty, let this sink in. Paramount with Sonic, just to bring this back to this real quick. Paramount with Sonic understood how to build a universe before DC.
Yeah, it's pretty sad, right?
just let that sink in that a hedgehog was able to build a universe faster than the most powerful superhero ever. What's up, Cherie?
The one we've been waiting for. And hi,
it's not
Sandro.
a party until Cherie shows up.
It's not. And Casey, it's not a party till Casey. You're more than welcome to join and give your input.
But
But
yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Like, I think that this is such a fresh take. We're seeing a lot of characters that have never really gotten the spotlight before take the spotlight.
hold
And
on.
what?
Characters like boom,
Hawkman. Yep.
Hawkman,
Dr.
Dr.
Fate.
fucking Fate, Black Adam, and so on and so
Atom
forth.
Smasher.
And Atom Smasher, yeah. Which we haven't got to see yet, I don't think.
Yeah, we have.
Wait, there was a picture?
Yeah, a still
Was
of
he in
Atom
the Sizzle
Smasher came
Reel?
out. Yeah, a picture of Atom Smasher came out.
All right, well, let's take a look at the DC Sizzle Reel. Because I think it's the best. I think it's the best thing that I've seen. This is if this doesn't give you like shivers, then I don't know what will, because it seems that DC is headed in a good direction. With that, because they are painting Robert Pattinson as the Batman.
Yeah.
Like more so than anything, right? Like literally more so than Michael Keaton right now. So I'm in awe. I'm super excited for what DC has coming, and I think people need to get on board or they need to hop on out.
Yeah, that's like I just want to take us back to DC fandom of last year and how they were introducing all of this, and they couldn't get a word in edgewise. The people at WB couldn't get a word in edgewise during the event because all the fans were just so boilingly heated that the Snyderverse had not been restored yet. And now here we are, new year, new promos, and people are finally starting to like give this a chance, and I'm so happy because like this, like the stages of what is it, grief, like go through the 7 stages and then just come out of the end, and
No, it's gonna take like 10 years for them to get over the Snyderverse, to be honest. No, when it comes to that the teaser they showed, no, it got me hyped. I was like, oh, I can't wait for these movies to release. But no, obviously the same usual suspects on Twitter. People like Get Over Mercury say, oh, this looks cheap. Oh, this looks whack. I can't believe they ruined Zack Snyder's vision and gave us all this garbage. I was like, you guys are just bugging and being haters. But look, it's better not to mention that crowd because they're never gonna be pleased until they get what they want.
Well, that's the thing, is they're never going to be pleased unless Zach is directing or producing, and that's the problem with that side of the fan base.
You have it like this. I pointed this out like last year during fandom. That poster that came out, I shared a tweet. I won't name the names, but 2 people tweeted out their opinions on the poster. One was, this looks like a bunch of random crap thrown on a poster, and there's no like it's just random stuff. And then the other one was a parody of the Snyderverse, saying like, I'm so glad we have variety now instead of this edgelord like boomer taste that like what's that one Clint Eastwood movie, like L Grando or something like that?
No idea.
Well, no, like it was just making fun of like how like these people need to move on. Like not everything needs to be this like edgy feel to it. Like the DC has variety. And I asked that person, I'm like, well, what do you think of the lineup? He said, I think it's variety. I think that, everyone's getting something they want instead of just one particular part of the fan base. And that's what they need if they want to survive and thrive. They can't just target one specific part of the demographic. They have to target everyone or as many people as they can.
Gotcha. Understood.
2 sides of the same coin.
2 sides of the same coin. Yeah. And with the Snyderverse and where we're headed, right? Where we're headed, I think a concern for a lot of people. Hey, Andrew Caselli. I think a concern for a lot of people is the Superman aspect, right? Now, do you think that they're holding that close to the chest, or do you think that Henry Cavill is out?
I think as far as Henry Cavill goes, wait and see. As far as Superman the character though, I think that's like
the character's not done, but is Henry Cavill done?
Hold on. Let me finish, Ty. With this new DCEU, Batgirl is basically the Bat family member that's taken the place of Batman, and whatever Supergirl that I forgot the actress's name that she's playing,
Kaije.
Yeah, whatever version of Supergirl she's playing, that's going to be your Kryptonian moving forward. Superman is just not going to be present during any of this. And I'm okay with that, only because we've seen a lot of different iterations of Superman, and I'm not just talking about in film, but Supergirl is a character that hasn't had her real time to shine, and neither is Batgirl. And this could be a time for DC to establish even more well-written female characters, and that's how they one up Marvel. DC actually has strongly written female characters. Marvel does not. Every Marvel character that's a female is attached to a team. They don't have solo heroes like that.
Right.
So that's what they're focusing on. I think they're smart for focusing on that.
Hey, Casey.
Yo.
What's going on, brother?
I'm emptying the dishwasher.
All right. Well, empty the dishwasher and then we can talk.
No, I'm here. I'm paying attention.
So, I mean, with everything that's going on with DC, Marvel seems to be, a well-oiled machine. It doesn't need, we don't really need to talk about it too much. Everything looks great that's coming out, especially Moon Knight, which I like the picture.
I'm gonna hold Kevin to his word. If he doesn't make this if it's not actually TV-14, I'm gonna be furious.
Well,
it's already TV-14, so the ratings already come out for it.
Yes.
I said this fucking, I don't know, what was that podcast? Not yours, but another one of our podcasts. I said the exact same thing on a show 3 months ago. And so that's what I heard, and you can see it in the marketing too. Like, it's the first time we've seen blood in like a poster of anything, really. Of Marvel.
On the ends of the weapons.
Yeah.
And on his knuckle areas.
And then you can even see kind of in even the Doctor Strange trailer, you know what I mean? Like, they weren't holding back
with Wanda in her head.
Yeah. So I think that they're kind of like laxing up, and I mean, maybe this is like they got Blade coming, so they have to kind of like figure that out.
This is how they introduce characters like that, and this is how they bring Daredevil back in.
Yeah, well, and I know they said they would dip their toe in the R thing maybe at some point. I don't think they really will, but I mean, I think they're going to get as close as they possibly can. And I think this is kind of their test. And remember Moon Knight is a limited series too.
Yeah,
so you're looking at 6 episodes. He's gonna be a character that's gonna show up in other places real quick.
Yeah, and
Midnight Suns.
That's the thing with Moon Knight is, Kevin saying it's brutal. It's our way of testing what a Disney Plus series can be. I think this is the precursor to Blade, the Punisher, Deadpool.
To talk about the Punisher, and I said this on Twitter, I honestly do not think they're going to do a Punisher series. I just don't think they're ever going to bring that character back, at least in the next, 5
Why do you believe that?
10 years. Because for a couple of reasons. One, they are having a nightmare problem with the Punisher symbol.
Yeah, that is a
marketing
big,
around
big
it.
thing.
And the fact that they can't, the reason that you see it everywhere, it is super hard for them to copyright because it's a skull. You can't copyright a skull, right?
But it's the way the skull is drawn. They can copyright it off of artistic style.
I just feel they've had problems, and so and that's why it's so hard for them to nail that stuff down. And
Disney's had problems suing. I never thought I'd hear those words.
They can sue some people and they can't sue other people, and they go after some and they can't go after all. So there's definitely issues. So what they've done in the comics, and this is specifically the point of Jason Aaron's new Punisher run, is they're gonna reinvent him. And so they reinvented his character. They're kind of giving him a new purpose, and they gave him this weird, very trademark friendly.
That skull is so
symbol.
generic. It actually makes me just cry tears of boredom.
That's kind of my thought, is that's where they're going to go with that. So if they did introduce the Punisher, it would be in that some type of vein like that. I just don't see them bringing him back in a period of time where that symbol is so connected with a terrible
let's
fan
not
base.
dance around it. They're so scared of that skull being connected to the alt-right that they
Yep.
yeah, I understand where you're coming from, Casey, but like they're gonna that character fundamentally has attacked people. He's attacked people, like he's killed Nazis. Punisher has killed Nazis. He's killed, like the people that would
It does,
associate.
but you know that the world that we live in, people
They're not gonna
don't
care.
people
Yeah, it
don't
doesn't
see
matter.
the
Like,
context. They only see the
that's the
headline.
problem. And I agree with you. Like I said, like people are like, well, they can just have him like the show can just all be about him just going after alt-right crazy people. I was like, yeah, I mean, it could, but that doesn't mean those people are gonna watch it and they're not gonna still like, you know what I mean? Like use
I
that
think we should
symbol.
stop trying to appease these people and just make good stories.
Yeah,
Well,
and I agree.
Because
I think,
that hinders good storytelling, in my opinion. That for an entire decade of like half a decade of Marvel, they try to appease these people, and the storytelling was garbage.
I just think what they'll do is they'll just combine, like they do what they've always done, and they'll just combine it with another character, and they'll have some other character be like that universe's Punisher. Like they'll like Taskmaster. I'm not saying they'll be Taskmaster or something, but like
they gotta keep, because like what's his name? John Berthal as Punisher is just perfect.
He was. He is.
Didn't the last, like in season 2, didn't he go after like a alt-right Christian group or something like that? Or it's supposed to be like that was what it was alleged to be?
I'm having trouble remembering.
I don't know. I mean,
but
yeah, I don't know. I don't think I finished season 2, but I just don't. Whatever they show or whatever they do with the character, I just don't think it's gonna matter, because I just think everyone until they change that symbol fundamentally, like, and they just get away from that image. It's the imagery, right? Like I don't think really whatever they do with the character is not gonna matter. It's that imagery, because it's so like, I don't know, badass isn't the right word, but
What's
like it's
more
so
ironic,
like, you know what I mean, like.
What's more ironic is that's the Thomas Jane version that all these people are using.
Right.
It's not even the one from the comics.
We're dealing with morons here, but
yeah.
No, we absolutely are. We're dealing with morons that don't actually look at the context of what the character represents.
Yes.
So I think there's I just don't think that's a character they're coming back. But I do think, again, and this is like a little scooper secret for everybody. So like,
hey, drop some tea.
Watch. I'm not dropping any tea, but like look at Marvel Comics. In about a year to about 6 months or so before a project goes into production, there'll be a new comic out about it. And so what did they just release last week? Oh, a new Thunderbolts book came out.
I was just gonna bring up the
And what did they release like 2 years ago or a year and a half ago? Maybe even a year ago. Oh, a Midnight Suns. And what they also call it? They didn't call it Midnight SONs anymore. It's SUNs now. Isn't that what the game's called too?
Yeah.
Why did they change it because of the game?
They changed it so it's more like inclusive, right? So it's not specifically like male driven. That would be my guess. And that way they can put, when they go to the MCU, they can put whoever they want on it.
Right.
And honestly, I like that name better, because I think like it's a cool double entendre, right? You're saying sons and like, as in
it's also
children
an oxymoron.
Yeah, that's true. But that way you can put people like Elsa Bloodstone on that team. You know what I mean? And it's not like you're not having this weird like
retcon the Runaways back in, retcon the Cloak and Dagger.
Oh yeah. No, but I think Moon Knight is going to be the start of a like, and I think
side. Well, not the mystic side, but the dark mystic.
Yeah, I think it all started with the John Walker scene where he decapitates someone with the shield. I think it started there, and the darkness, the darkness of it, right? They tested the waters, what they could get away with without that, and then Moon Knight is going to push that boundary further, and so on and so forth until we get to Blade, and Deadpool, and all these other characters that have or require, like Daredevil, maybe a stronger a stronger mature audience. But I think audiences are ready for more mature. I mean, we look over at DC, and mature content or content that is a little bit more edgy it thrives. Things like the Joker, right? They thrive. So darker audiences are ready for more edgier content, and I'm excited for that.
Marvel
Well, not even
has
that. Like, you have to understand too, the audience of Marvel has grown up, right? So like,
Yeah,
people that started out on Iron Man, if you were like 5 or 6 or whatever, and Iron Man was the first movie you saw, you're now, I don't know how long has Marvel been going around. 10 plus years. You're now
20-something
16,
years.
yeah, 16, 17 probably.
I was 12 when Iron Man came out.
Yeah, so like I said, like like Iron Man's cool now, but now you're looking for something. You're still a Marvel fan. You're looking for something. So it's gonna
I've always
grow
been a
with the
Marvel fan.
audience too. I think it's gonna. So I think that's kind of what they're doing, and yeah, they have to fill all this content, right? So they're gonna have to like expand beyond the quote unquote Marvel formula.
Yeah. And
we'll see how that goes for them.
Supernatural was TV-14, and it did show a lot of blood. It showed a lot. Knock the series. Whatever. It's my favorite show of all time. But they showed some pretty brutal things. They showed someone. They showed Sam, one of the main characters, getting his fingernails ripped off with a pair of pliers. They showed, on almost every episode, someone would get their throat cut. Like Supernatural was a really, really hard TV-14, and Moon Knight. I really hope Moon Knight delivers delivers justice to the character.
Yes.
So far, what I'm seeing is absolutely amazing.
What I hope they nail isn't even if the blood aspect of the quote unquote gore aspect. I want them to handle his multiple personalities.
Yeah,
because
right?
I say what you want about M. Night Shyamalan as the director. Just follow me on this. James McAvoy in Split showed me, first off, his range as an actor, but how you handle a character that has multiple personalities. So I want to see Oscar Isaac bring that same energy, if he can, to this character.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's the movie that he studied or something. I'm sure that was one of the things that he looked at in figuring out, how can this be portrayed? Because that mental aspect of Mark Spector is a huge component to who Moon Knight is. So tackling that, and that's why I think this had to be a limited series or a series in general, right? Because you can't tell that story in 2 hours. You need, roughly, I think it's going to be roughly, like five and some change hours, 6 hours. You need that amount of time to tell this story.
If not just a whole episode for people to understand who Khonshu is, because that's an Egyptian god that most people don't even know.
It's an Egyptian.
I wouldn't expect a lot of cameos and like who's gonna show up for this like and that type of shit this time around. No, it has to be focused, and if they do that, if they start throwing cameos in there, I think you're gonna pull away.
The show itself is heavy.
I doubt we see a single other Marvel character in Moon Knight.
I would say the only one you would possibly see is Blade, and I think it's just.
I was gonna say Blade as well, but that's even a stretch.
Or but even then, I think it's gonna be Eternals, the one that Blade visited in the Eternals.
Black Knight.
Yeah. God, what was his real name?
What was his name?
I forgot his name. Well, my thing is I think Moon Knight is a series that solely focuses on the character, but Moon Knight is a character that will definitely cameo and appear in other Marvel properties. He's one of those characters that's going to be just appearing in a lot of stuff.
I agree.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be fantastic. Over to the DC side of things, though, which is where I think we were. Now, how heavy? How Robert Pattinson's Batman, right? Now, they say that it is an Earth 2 story, right? It's not going to connect, yada, yada. Yep. Do you think that the Flash or something could fuse the universes if the story was correct. Because I know Matt Reeves wants to keep it separate, and I know Matt Reeves wants to make sure it, is grounded in reality, and it exists separately from the DCEU. All those good things. But something tells me that Warner Brothers was like, listen, we're gonna leave the door open.
I don't think that door opens until they're ready to do like a crisis type of thing.
Okay.
So I don't even think that's even. I mean, again, I think what a lot of people expect from WB and Warner Brothers is like they're gonna, like they're this like Marvel machine now, and they're like they have this board and like they have this giant plan, like all this stuff that's gonna happen, like, and it's all gonna lead to this. They're not doing that. Like what I mean, it's very much like we're gonna take kind of every movie like one step at a time, and yeah, we have like an idea of where we want this to go. We have kind of like eventually we want to get here. But what that looks like and how we get there, I don't think they have really any like solid plan for.
Understood.
I think if they did that, they would be shooting themselves in the foot, and that would be like what everyone expects WB to do. Like that's a WB move. Like this was supposed to be separate, but you wanted to connect it because you got greedy. Like I don't want them to do that. I also think that Matt Reeves, that was a big condition for him to even make this movie, was he wants his trilogy to be separate. This is just like Nolan's trilogy. It's going to be in its own universe. It's going to be its own thing. And, I look forward to seeing what Matt Reeves does with his version of Batman and these characters. Hopefully the rumors are true about him wanting to do Mr. Freeze, give him a redemption.
Yeah, that was something that came out a little while ago, was that he is interested in maybe tackling Mr. Freeze, that there is a grounded way to approach that story. So I'd be super interested to see Mr. Freeze come back. Gotham did Mr. Freeze, I guess.
Gotham. Hilarious.
Yeah, Gotham kind of sucked.
Let's be real. The best interpretation of Mr. Freeze is Batman the Animated Series.
It's the only interpret. That's the only one. That's the only one that exists.
Batman and Robin.
Well, no, I don't like that either.
Chill.
Like I would bet he does just a version of Heart of Ice. Like she has some blood disease. Like he cryo freezed her.
Because that is already grounded.
Yeah, right. Exactly. There's not like a lot of like like hardcore, like it's all kind of tech. I mean, theoretically, it's kind of tech based. You really don't need like an ice quote unquote gun. Like you could probably get around that part, but I mean, you could definitely make a cryo suit that he would have to like walk around in or whatever.
Here's the thing though, right? And this just sold me on at least that version of the character. How Mr. Freeze talked also sounded cold and dead. So the delivery of the character is also important because it has to sound not like that, but it has to sound like, this person is dead on the inside. He has no feeling. He has no more humanity left. Well, that's an aspect that I love.
I could tell you how it sets up Heart of Ice. It might be a spoiler though.
Don't spoil it.
All right. Well, I'll just say, the ending of the movie, there's definitely a scenario where you could say like, oh yeah, I could see how this would cause other things to happen in the city and people would be upset about it, and maybe their experiments would be screwed.
What are you talking about?
He's talking about the Batman.
Talking about the end of Batman.
Okay.
You see in the trailer, but there's an event where you could be like, oh yeah, that would certainly cause power to go out, and maybe someone's wife's life support would be screwed with at that point in time.
Right.
So he definitely has those scenarios where he could set that up. It's Mr. I just don't like. I know we all know that Joker is fucking in this movie or whatever, but like I am just so over that character. Like I'm done.
As a Joker fanatic,
as
a Joker fanatic, as someone who thinks that the Joker is pure cinema.
Shree says it, but I am excited to see what the Batman will bring. I want a variety from the Rogues Gallery. Enough Joker. And yes, the Court of Owls is definitely going to be, I think, a part of Matt.
I think that'd be a great finale.
Well, the thing is, because Matt Reeves wants to do the grounded take. What are characters that haven't been explored? Court of Owls.
Not only that, like another thing that not a lot of people have talked about, but in those interviews he's been doing, he said that 0 Year was like a big influence on
Yes.
this this movie or whatever. So obviously he was reading a lot of Scott Snyder stuff, because you can't get to 0 Year without having read pretty much everything that came before it. So
Right.
you know what I mean? So like he's definitely aware of the court and all that. And not speaking of Scott Snyder, I mean, he has a great single issue like Mr. Freeze story as well. I think it's drawn by Jim Lee too.
Like the Court of Owls is just like, that's like one of the more popular like rogues of Batman in recent memory. You know, they're being talked about being put in this trilogy. They're the main antagonist for Gotham Knights, the video game coming out. Like, this is the court's time to, and they were in Gotham too. This is the court's time to really fully rise up as one of the new big threats. Like, you know, when you say Batman's rogues, you say Joker, Two-Face, Penguin, and the Court of Owls should come up in that conversation.
The Court of Owls, you know, could be, you know, linked. I mean, because again, Matt Reeves is going for this detective noir style Batman. Who better to pit Robert Pattinson's detective style Batman against than the Court of Owls? There's such a mystery and enigma to them. No pun intended with the Joker, but there's such a, you know, that whole story is shrouded in mystery. So
yeah, but I think the way the court would have to work though, because you'd have to have like, you have to break down Batman, and the best part of that whole kind of series is when they trap him in that like maze underground or whatever, and he kind of like doesn't have any of his shit, and he kind of like, and he's like just Bruce Wayne basically trapped in a fucking maze, in a death maze or whatever. And but the reason that works is because while he's doing that, there's things happening around Gotham, right? And there's a Talon running around, and his Bat family has to kind of step in. So I think you have to like establish a Bat family around him, because I think the way the court works is it has to take Bruce out of that element, right? And then you have to have, while he's out of that element, you have to have some other conflict happening, or you have to have the court doing something with Gotham, so there's an overall purpose. Because otherwise, they're just fighting Batman. Like, what's the point?
Do you think? Do you think that a Robin will be introduced to Matt Reeves' world?
I definitely think so.
You definitely think so, really?
I mean, that's not a scoop or anything, but I just don't see how you don't do it.
You don't have to say that, by the way.
You know, just, you know, hey, you know, Bruce goes with Selena one night in Metropolis later. Give it about 9 months. There's your Robin.
Yeah, the timeline does not work.
Yeah.
Come on.
You have to wait a few years.
Yeah. There would have to be 15 years in between movies, or at least a gap.
I mean, Matt Reeves could definitely do a second trilogy.
Yeah, that's you know, kind of do that. The thing that pissed me off the most at the end of The Dark Knight was that we never got to see
Nightwing.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt as Nightwing, like properly.
I just thought of this. This is just a theory, mind you, that I just literally come up with off the top of my head. What if Matt Reeves does like do a multiple trilogy type thing, where they kind of build up the court, kind of like how the MCU built up Thanos in a way, like that. There's always like these hints and stuff that they're there, but they never show them until like it's time. So the Bat family can be built.
Yeah, I would love that. But here's the problem with like, this is WB shooting themselves in the foot. And I love Robert Pattinson or whatever, but you're gonna get him for more than 3 movies. Good fucking luck. Like, you know what I mean? Like the reason that the MCU is so successful in those early years is because they got these actors who you could sign to 9 movies, and you weren't worried about like them going off and like chasing like a fucking indie film for 2 years.
Pattinson seems to be a really big fan of the character, and he seems to love being that character. So I think that you could get him to definitely do maybe 2 trilogies.
Sure, but so was Robert Downey Jr. And after like 5, 6 movies, he was like, even and $50 million, he even was like still like, oh, okay, I'm done. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't think you get. I think it's, but and like again, Ben Affleck's a perfect example. It is so hard to keep actors like those guys on the till for that long. And like if they can do it, like awesome, that's great. But like I don't know.
All I'm saying is Holland is about to become one of the highest paid young actors in Hollywood.
Yeah, but again, Holland, like what else is Holland fucking doing?
a terrible
you know,
Uncharted.
Yeah, like you know what I mean. He's not winning like you know what I mean. Like Pattinson's like an Oscar like chaser. You know what I mean. Like he's gonna be this guy. He's a Leonardo DiCaprio guy, type of guy.
Oh
Like,
God,
you know what I mean?
no, please.
There's always gonna be something like that's gonna like. There's always a chance something else is gonna catch his eye and he's gonna get bored. And so like I'm just saying like I think you get 3 movies out of him and that's great. If you expect anything more, then it's gonna be trouble.
Well, I'm just saying, man. Like, if that's the case, if they're worried about not being able to keep him because of how the script is written, all I can say is just write a good script. Like,
Yeah.
Pattinson,
Yeah.
I think with Pattinson's love for the character and his love for a good script, if it's good enough, he will come back. Like, it's just one of those
Yeah, but
things.
I mean,
I hope
do you
so.
get Reeves back too? Because look at the Ace movies. I mean, you got 3 of those, and he was kind of like, "I'm done with this." I don't know. I just think WB is just a different beast when it comes to like keeping these contracts and keeping these people on. So yeah,
I do believe this trilogy is going to be better than Nolan's.
I 100% agree with that.
I agree with that too because I think Nolan takes him. It takes
Hard-
a dive after
hard
fucking
liberties.
after
After the first one.
the second one.
First one.
Batman Begins is definitely my favorite, and I think whatever. I can't even think of it. Dark Knight is a fantastic like Joker movie. It's the best Joker movie ever. But as
Yeah,
far as
Excuse
Batman
you.
goes,
It's not a
yeah,
Batman movie
he
at the end of the
goes-
day.
takes a
Excuse you.
dive.
It's the best what movie?
Joker movie ever.
No, you need to go back just a couple of years ago. That's the best one. That's the
Joke. Oh no.
Yes.
I don't think the Joker was
Joker
the
is
best
not-
Joker.
That film is
movie.
cinema. That film is freaking cinema,
Ugh.
y'all.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. But I think the Dark Knight.
It's a good movie on its own, but I just don't think like I don't know what is that joke. That Joker doesn't stand a chance against any fucking real. I guess they have to find fucking its character study of that character, but as far as like what people want to see from the Joker, I just don't think that's not.
Yeah, I think a
it's not
Joker
tickling your
versus
fucking balls,
Batman.
really.
Yeah, Joker versus Batman will always beat a Joker standalone.
I'm
Like,
also the mind too that you can't have Joker without Batman. Like the character.
I
physically
agree.
Can't exist.
I
Like the
I
whole
literally
purpose of
agree.
Which
Joker.
is why Gotham didn't understand. But Gotham didn't understand that, and they tried
didn't
so hard
understand.
to make the Joker without Batman.
Yeah, I think it's so hard. Yeah, I think it's just fundamentally flawed when you're saying, "Hey, these weird villains exist without Batman," because that completely misses the point of the weird
like-
villains. So
Yeah, it's like because and that's what I said before the Joker came out is these and it's the same thing with Sony with Venom and Morbius and Craven. It's like these characters exist because of the hero most of the time. Like without the hero, there's no villain. Because
well, no, I'm gonna argue. I'm not gonna say that they do because Venom. I mean, Craven was a hunter before Spider-Man ever came. He just became, he just wanted to hunt Spider-Man because he was the greatest prey. Venom was like an alien who just showed up to just showed up on the planet. I mean, whatever version, I guess you can say it's Spider-Man, but he was just, he was a being. He was already there. The difference is Batman, like the Joker does not physically happen unless Batman happens. Like it's not possible.
well, I guess that's the point I was going for, but I used other references.
That's
I understand.
that's the point of the film, though, is that it goes off the story of if I'm going to have a past, I prefer it to be multiple choice. That's the end of Joker, as I took it, at least.
Shri, you don't bother watching Gotham.
Don't bother, Cherie.
It's good to a degree. The first couple seasons were great because it was a Jim Gordon story, but then all of a sudden it became a Bruce Wayne story.
Remember when
It felt
the big, reveal of that
Law
show
and
was
Order
he
in
got-
Gotham.
Remember when the big reveal of that show was he got a mustache?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Oh shit! That fucking show is hilarious. That show is. I just can't believe it lasted as long as it did.
I know. I know.
Like I
still
said,
can't
to
believe it
normies,
lasted so long,
it probably reminded them of Law and Order a little bit, just with the comic book element.
What do you guys think about Krypton?
Krypton was the best show that fucking
Okay,
tanked because they were too scared to do a Superman show.
I've said this, and this is just my take. If Zack had done a Krypton like prequel before he released Man of Steel,
Well, that was the original pitch.
that was the
Krypton
Yeah,
was
that was the original.
the original pitch for
Goyer
Krypton
pitch,
was
He was attached to it.
was a prequel to Man of Steel, and they were and Warner Brothers was too afraid.
Why?
Yeah, dude, I'm sorry to.
That is one of my biggest complaints about Man of Steel. Is that the opening? There's too much happening. Oh
Yeah,
my
so-
God, WB.
So they
Well,
there
I
was.
mean, to be fair, like
I'm so
I don't know how
pissed.
much it would. I don't know how much it would have actually led directly into Man of Steel because it still takes place.
You end the series
like
with the
100
beginning
years
of the
before.
film.
Right, yeah,
Yeah,
8
you'd have to
seasons
change the
later,
show
yeah, maybe.
considerably.
Yeah.
But,
Oh my
but yeah,
God.
yeah, that was the original pitch. Was that
pisses me off so
Krypton would
much.
be a prequel to Man of Steel and Snyder's universe?
I actually didn't know this. I
Yeah, cringe, right?
No, that's not cringe. That's infuriating. WB, that would have solved like half of the critiques of that film.
I
That would
think it
have
would have
solved
been-
like half of them.
Well,
H. Bart's.
it would have came out after still.
H. Bart's is going to get his microphone. It looks like I have the tracking information.
That means H. Bart's will finally be able to join us.
Yeah, he should be getting it in the next 3 days. His microphone.
Hey.
Courtesy of the Pop Culture Corner. So,
But yeah, that pisses me off because like I'm literally watching Man of Steel for the first time ever, and I'm like, there's a lot happening in this opening. If only there was a show that happened beforehand to explain a lot of this so that people wouldn't feel like they're being overwhelmed by information.
yeah.
Well, again, I don't think the show would not have come out before Man of Steel. So I'm not
No.
sure it would have solved that
No.
problem.
It would have come out at the same exact time.
Yeah,
that
at the
it
same
did.
time.
That's fine. That's fine. Because here's the thing: you can still have people watching this. Like, I think it should have the show should have led up to the movie. That's just me though.
Well, I mean,
'Cause
that
that
show
way
should have been the writing on the wall for our Snyder fans because I think that was kind of the first like sign of like them being like, yeah, we're done with this universe.
Yeah.
But-
And in all honesty, they could have beaten Marvel to that particular punch because now Marvel is integrating shows into their movies. The WB could have been the first to do that, but they didn't.
Yeah, I mean that's gonna be their big push when Zaslav, or I can't say his name, but
David
when Zaz
Zaslav.
comes in,
Zaz,
when Zaz comes into the fold, like that's gonna be their big push is to like
Victor Zaz.
get more people
Yeah,
onto the streaming thing and do all that.
Okay, here's something. And we'll probably be wrapping up after this, but hot topic, hot question. CW.
Ew.
Do we dissolve the Arrowverse and focus solely on HBO Max as Warner Brothers going
Yes.
forward?
If you're smart, yes, but they're not going to do that.
I think that there must be a
That would
reason. I don't like-
cripple. I'm sorry to interrupt. By the way, that would cripple the CW as a channel.
Oh,
Like,
they're
as
already
a-
looking to be sold.
Well, yeah,
or
I think
bought.
that's the option, right? Like if they can sell it, then what they'll do is they'll just move everything over to HBO Max. But like
Yeah.
again, if they can't sell it, then they're gonna keep everything there because whether the channel itself is profitable or not, they can still sell those shows to other markets internationally, and that's where most of their money is coming from my understanding. So that's why like fucking Flash, all these shows have been on for 10 years.
Right.
Because they're
right.
making they're making like money by
God,
selling
gross.
selling those programs to like other markets and other channels. But yeah, breaking from the CW and putting all that stuff on HBO Max would certainly be the best strategy moving forward. And like you can see them, they're planting those seeds now because I mean, goddamn, Stargirl and Superman and Lois both kind of have that model already.
They have
where,
the
like,
HBO Max budget.
Right.
They're just still located on the
yeah.
CW.
And again, I think that's just kind of like we want to put the most eyeballs on these. Like we don't have, you know what I mean? So it's just kind of. And then you have to have Hulu too. Where are those fitting in the Hulu anymore? Maybe not. But you have the CW app too, which I'm sure more people probably watch on the CW app than actually watch those shows live.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I know
think,
I do.
Yeah. So I
I
think
watch
once you
because the
can-
only one I watch is Superman and Lois.
Once
I
you can
think
shed yourself of CW, the channel, then I think that definitely like opens up that door. But again, like what they just fucked up with Sandman too. Like they sold Sandman, you know what I mean, to Netflix. So it's like there obviously there must be someone over there saw a number and was like, we're making more money by selling this stuff to other networks and putting it on HBO Max at this point. So let's keep selling it until that number changes. You know what I mean? Until there's like a shift in that number, then they're gonna keep
Right.
selling shit
How you
off to
change that
other
number is
networks.
you produce quality content.
I'm sorry.
I don't think they understood what they did when they sold Sandman to Netflix.
What do you guys think of Peacemaker?
I think it's a fine show. It's a fine establishment to the DCU, and it's a good thing too because I want them in the future to expand on the DCU and obviously on HBO Max and television form. And I think Peacemaker is a very good show. People are liking it. The general people are liking it. People are definitely excited for what could happen. There's lots of rumors about the season finale. But no, it's a fine show. It's something we never none of us wanted, but it ended up being good. But I think it establishes that they could make shows like this in the future on HBO Max, or at least because we don't know what James Gunn really is gonna do when it comes to his side of the DCU. People are saying that he's already gonna get another TV show or something like that on HBO Max for the DCU, so that's fine. But like, that if not, they could just keep making R-rated content on that and fetch out more the DCU that way. But either way, no. Obviously, I want different styles and tones, and obviously, we're getting stuff like that when it comes to movie form with Batgirl and all that Justice League Dark stuff that's gonna happen soon. But no, just keep making TV shows and flesh out the universe more and give us more characters that can cross over from movies and obviously the TV show themselves.
Exactly. And I think that's what audiences want right now is that connectedness. At the end of the day, and that's a big problem with DC is and Robert Pattinson's Batman, right? Specifically, Robert Pattinson's Batman is. I think there's a lot of confusion on the DC side as far as general audience members go, because they're going to be like, "Oh, okay, which like." Robert Pattinson's Batman, like, does that connect to the DC, like Aquaman or no? And then, they're not gonna know. There's a lot of confusion. All of a sudden, they're saying Michael Keaton, Ben Affleck.
I know you wanted to talk about the Flash for a minute, Ty. I think the one thing the Flash needs to establish more than anything, even if the movie itself with its story fails, the one key essential thing it needs to do is establish what is canon and what is not. They need to get that correct, because if they don't, you're going to have general audience members confused out of their minds.
Right. Yeah, agreed. I definitely agree. Because there like No Way Home.
Yes.
If Andrew Garfield all of a sudden became Sony's Spider-Man, and Tom continued in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, no one would blink an eye. Not a single person.
Because that story was so well done, and it progressed Andrew's Spider-Man further after TASM 2.
Yeah, and not a single person would be like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
I think that you're right with the Flash. It needs to establish what is canon, what is not canon. That way, moving forward, there's a clear picture. However, when you make a film, when you make a film, like there's a rule of thumb is like it needs to be able to stand alone regardless, right? So when you make a movie, even in the interconnected universes, when you make a film, it needs to be able to stand on its own. So no matter who sees it, can somewhat, understand and get it, right? And that's the problem that I'm seeing, at least with DC, is that there's so many different things happening at DC that it's hard to keep track of, even for someone like me, who's like, very, prone to the knowledge and understands it well. right? Even us as DC diehards, we're having trouble establishing what's canon and what's not canon.
It's like the what we see on the other side of this like river looks amazing. It looks awesome. We can't wait to get there. But how they're constructing this bridge is what's having us feel a little doubtful that we should try to cross this.
Yeah.
Again,
Flash
what
is that bridge.
I think what DC and I mean essentially what Marvel want from audiences now is they want you to consider everything canon. Right? That's what the point of like the multiverse is, right? Like, and Marvel is fucking pissing everybody off with this, towing this line too. But like, everything's canon, whether it was part of like this one storyline or not.
Yeah.
Now everything that ever happened,
unless
Marvel
it's
comic is
Japanese
canon, or
Spider-Man,
Marvel
it's
thing
No,
is
that's
canon.
still canon.
No,
That's,
it's
I
that's
mean,
just
no,
an
it's
alternate
canon.
universe.
Because it's I mean, like I said,
The
like
emissary
so,
from
like,
hell.
DC's gonna play that. DC's gonna play that card too. I think what the Flash is gonna do. I don't think it's gonna erase. I hate that word. I don't think it's gonna erase the Snyderverse because again, can't erase something.
but I think it's going to
it can't
back
happen. It's always gonna
retcon
exist.
it.
I think it's going to create a new universe. So what I think it's going to happen is it's
Like
going
a
to
pocket
there's still going to be the
universe.
Keaton universe. There's still not a pocket universe. Like so at the end of Flashpoint, what it does is it doesn't like Bray doesn't go back to the universe that he came from when he first started in the comic or whatever. You know what I mean? Like he creates a brand new universe. It's brand new. So like it has a new history. It has a new past. It has a new everything. The Superman's new. The Green Lantern's different. Like Batman's kind of the same but new. You know what I mean? So like I think that's what they're doing. So I think that whatever universe the Flash ends up with at the end won't be like the DCU minus the Snyderverse. It's just going to be something brand like the history from day one is going to be brand new. Whether that meant Keaton was always Batman and he played in the same roles that Ben Affleck's Batman did, but they just went a little differently. And maybe in this universe, instead of Clark landing on the planet, then Sasha's Supergirl lands on the planet, and she does all the same things that Clark did. But it's gonna be like a new, you know what I mean? Like it's gonna be something new. It's not gonna be like a mishmash of like multiple universes they're gonna throw together, and then like we're gonna have to figure it out. It's gonna be a new thing, and then as we go through, and I think Batgirl is showing you this as well, right? As we go through the universe, we're gonna figure out what the past of this new universe that Flash created was. Like, what happened? How does Keaton fit in? How did Black Canary fit in? What paths were there?
Agreed.
Kind of
I
like
like
how
that.
what Mando and Boba Fett and all of them are doing for the sequels. Like all these shows are being set up to build up the lead up to the sequels.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they're all kind of leading to this story. So I think that's I think people just need to stop freaking out and be like, yeah, WB's not dumb. Like there's always going to be like this like back door where they're always going to have like a way out of whatever situation they're in, and that's what they're doing with the multiverse, right? So yes, I'm not saying again. I hate doing this because of course there is a possibility and a vast universe of possibilities that in 10 years they go back to Snyder and say, hey, can you do this again? And by a miracle of all miracles, he's able to get the 5 actors back, and they're able to do something, whatever, and then they can throw it back and say, oh, it was just another pocket. You know what I mean? It's just another part of this multiverse concept or whatever. Or they can do a what's that? Or they can do a Crisis movie, and they can bring back like Cavill, or they can have 2 Aquaman show up, and one was Snyder's Aquaman and one was Wan's Aquaman. You know what I mean? They can do those kinds of different things, but
right.
I don't think that they're quote unquote erasing anything. I just think that we're gonna get something new, and it's gonna be an established, like this is it. This is the established timeline. Everything falls under this now, and moving forward, everything's gonna fall under this. And there is a path to explain why we're in this universe that we're in now.
Okay.
And will there be a door? Is there a back door to go back to the Snyderverse? Probably. Like
most likely.
The thing about the thing about the Snyderverse is it was limited to the sense of this is Zack's vision. With what they're doing now, it's not as limited and narrow as far as I can see. They have an infinite amount of possibilities to do whatever they want to.
Wonder Twins fucking movie.
The Wonder Twins are getting a that's right.
So like you know what I mean? Like
it's the most ridiculous thing I've seen all day, by the way.
Why? But again, is it because for the past decade, all the complaint, number one complaint out of WB has always been like, it's always Batman and Superman. It's always Batman and Superman. All we get is Batman and Superman. But now we get a Wonder Twins movie, and everybody's pissed off about it.
I'm not pissed off. I'm laughing mine off.
I literally just can't even believe it.
But again,
It's
like
so
what
funny.
was the big comic they pushed like a year ago? It was a Wonder Twins book. It was
Anyway,
successful. They pushed
Yeah.
a big like Wonder Twins book, like
They
a
did.
big relaunch, like a year ago. Yeah.
All right, here we go. Last but not least, and this is the last thing of the day. Shit. Oh my god, I literally just forgot it. I cannot believe that I just blanked on what the last. Oh my god.
Form of a falcon, shape of a bucket of water.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they do the water thing anymore. I
They
think
need
just
to
turn
do
it
the
around.
water thing just for shits and giggles.
The dumbest fucking characters ever. Like I always love to be in the room where like the boy can only turn into water. All right, I don't know
He
how
can
that works.
only
But okay.
do water. And have the monkey.
Like,
Instead of
cocaine
the
was
Justice
nothing
League, they have a
real
Super
good.
Friends movie.
I mean,
I
I think they're gonna have
Oh
a
my
J. You're probably gonna need a Justice Society movie before you get a fucking Justice League movie. No, that's
Yes,
for sure.
Shree. Yes, Shree. I am getting old. I'm forgetting exactly what the. I can't. I had such a good.
Oh, I
had
complain
such
about
a-
getting old to Cherie. I get told, "Shut up! I'm just a youngin." When there's not equally fair treatment between us. I don't like-
I'm almost about to be 30.
that is. I mean, I'm 26. I'm not that far behind you.
Yeah, but 30's a whole different ball game. Whole different ball game.
I guess.
It is.
I'm
It is,
37,
man.
so y'all can shut the fuck up.
and then Eddie over here is probably what, 20, 19.
23.
Oh, okay, all right.
Back when I was doing
damn!
cocaine
I'm
off
so
strippers
pissed.
and
I'm so pissed that I forgot the topic that I wanted to bring up.
Was it more Flash?
No, it was not.
Oh.
But I guess anyway, Superman and Lois, is how do you guys feel about Superman and Lois? This is
Great
a
show.
nonsensical topic because it's not the topic I had, but I like Superman and Lois. I really do.
I mean that's
I
their Superman. So everyone complaining about like where's Henry Cavill? I mean, Tyler Hoechlin is who WB considers their Superman right now. So that's that story.
and honestly, I don't mind. I don't mind Ty as Superman. I think the suit and like his body frame could use a little work. I think he.
Yeah, the suit is definitely weird. Like
The way it crimps, like in films. I don't know if anyone knows this, but in a movie, right? If there's a crinkle in the suit, they will fix that in post. It seems that in the CW and even in with Superman and Lois and the HBO Max budget, they don't fully do that all the time. And you can always see like little ripples in the suit, like if his arms move.
it
and
feels
it
like
bothers me.
It feels like the S is ironed on.
And I was just the first season, the logo was more of an emblem stitched on top.
Right.
This season,
exactly. It's
this
like ironed
season,
on.
they decide to do an iron-on, which looks
It
so
looks
bad.
Terrible. It's terrible.
So bad. Like the season 1 suit was so much better.
No, the best suit is the fucking Fleischer suit that he was in for like 30 seconds.
Oh yeah, God.
Are you talking about the
Flusher.
the OG shit?
The OG, yeah.
The original one where he like saves
where he picks the car up.
Yeah, the original,
Yeah.
the OG suit.
Yeah, that of course that was an amazing. Like I loved that sequence because
just take that
I love
suit and put like a good emblem on it, and you're good to go.
I
Yeah,
love that Casey called it the Flusher suit.
uh,
I'm so glad you get that deep cut.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
I
I said Fleischer, didn't I? Isn't it Fleischer? Is that?
No,
Oh,
you
yeah,
said it right. I'm just I'm instead of calling it like the the number one suit or the Action Comics number one suit, you call it the Fleischer suit.
I don't know. I just that's what I always called it. I don't know why. That's weird.
Oh!
Remember your topic?
I remember my topic.
There you go.
Guys, release the Ayercut.
Oh my god! Why are we talking about this?
Jeez.
Because it is a thing that's happening. I'm not saying the movie's happening. I'm sorry, misworded. However, the release the Ayercut thing is gaining a lot of traction in the news. You know,
Is it?
this new
I'm
clip.
literally saying, oh, that stupid, that terrible clip that's like nothing, and like people are like freaking out about. Oh, come on! Like that's the dumbest shit ever. Like who? I don't know.
I'm gonna.
Well, it's not happening.
Well. Let's take a look at it. Can you hear it?
The shit that I do for you. We're gonna talk.
So
It's terrible.
That-
We're like responses. Okay, that's her dialogue. Okay.
well,
Like, I know it's supposed to
all
make
I'm
him look like
saying is
meaner, but like I thought the original scene's better. Like they have way better banter back and forth. And who cares if he's not like mad at her? Like I don't know. That movie's so terrible either way. I don't think it's fucking Ayercut's gonna save it anyway.
and neither do I. And if the Ayercut never sees the light of day, again, like Eddie said earlier, I'm not going to lose sleep. I'm not. Simply not going to lose sleep. However, I wouldn't mind seeing it, you know, just because I would like to see the differences. And I think the difference between in that scene, because in that scene theatrically, the Joker welcomes her with open arms, says, I love you, yada, yada. I got some champagne at the house. But in this scene, he's more, I'm sick of saving you. Or like, I'm kind of aggravated. Get in the fucking plane and we're going to talk. And that Joker, I don't know, it rang with me. I don't know why. I'm not saying this clip is definitively saying that it's happening. I'm not. But why not?
I'm gonna let Eddie say what he wants to say first. I feel like Eddie wanted to say something.
Like why not release the cut if what David Ayer says is true and it simply is done? Why not release it on
It's
HBO
not
Max
done.
as
It's not done. It's not done. Because it's not true. They would have to put money into it regardless. And you can't just say, all right, it's done, and like you just put out a different cut. Like that's not how it works. Like number one, it's not.
Well,
done.
I understand that. I understand that.
The whole third act would need to be either reshot, shot again, or CGI'd. Or finished with the CGI.
Hold on,
what happens is, go ahead.
Hold on. What are you gonna say, Eddie?
No, when it comes to the Ayercut, I think it's pretty much the same situation as the Snyder Cut. There's already something there. People know there's more footage, and obviously it was structured differently. Well, that's what David Ayer keeps saying. Look, when it comes to the theatrical version of Suicide Squad, I think it's a mess of a movie. I still like it, but I acknowledge that movie is trash. But look, I don't know if that Ayercut to be any better, to be honest with you. But look, like I said, there's obviously something physically there, so they could put something together, like how they did with the Snyder Cut. But
It's not going to cost $70 million. I don't
No,
know.
it's not going to cost $70 million, but it's still going to cost something. And look at you guys; they didn't make their money back with the Snyder Cut. Like, let's just be honest here. Like, they didn't. They didn't make the $70 million back. I think they made like maybe $8 to $10 million on DVD sales, and like who knows what the actual like HBO Max subscription like equates to. But I don't think they made that $70 million back. So I don't see them putting.
But
more,
you're not
any millions into an Ayercut and putting it out just because just for the sake of a few people.
Okay.
All I gotta say about it
Understood.
is it comes back down to I'm gonna quote Far Cry 3 for a minute. Did I ever tell you the definition of insanity? Insanity is doing the same fucking thing over and over and over and over again, expecting shit to change. If the Ayercut happens, we're going to be back in the same hell that we were for the Snyder Cut, except now it's going to reinforce the Snyder Cut because now the Ayercut is just reinforcing that.
Right, and then
not only
fans
that, just like
fans will be like, I'm entitled again.
I'm all for, to answer Cherie, I'm all for creatives getting their chance to make their product. But when that happened to Zach, I have not been able to have a good conversation about DC in months.
No,
well,
I don't think it's...
Zach's situation is completely different. I'm sorry, it is. Zach had to leave the movie. They brought in another director and they changed the movie a lot. Like, I mean, there's also a similar bone. Like the bones are there, but I mean, they changed the movie a lot. Like, but Ayer was there. Ayer was there during principal photography. He was there with the reshoots. He was doing all that shit. He was still involved. That is the job. Like that is every movie. Like every movie has a director's. Every single movie has a director's cut. It has stuff that you haven't seen. There's 10, 20, 30 hour of shit that they always cut on the floor. Like David Ayer's situation is no different than any other director of any other blockbuster multi-million-dollar film. Like look at Kathy Yon. She's not out here like demanding a fucking cut of her movie that has more gay overtones in it and like puts back in the naked statue plot line. Like,
wait, what?
I don't like. So the original movie for Birds of Prey, instead of like it being like bank numbers in the diamond, it was it was nude pictures of, or a nude statue picture of what's his name, Black Mask.
Yeah.
And he was like, his character was so vain that he didn't want to like getting out or whatever. So it was just a complete. So they switched out that storyline or whatever.
And
terrible. He was much more quote unquote gay. He was much more gay apparently too. Like it was much more obvious that he was like him and the guy Zaz were in a relationship together. But, I mean, regardless, I mean that's just Hollywood though. You know what I mean? That just happens.
Yeah,
with every
that's the
movie,
movie making process with a big studio.
And we can't like sit here and like anytime we find out something like, oh, that would have been cool. Oh, let's demand a fan. Like we gotta.
I see what you're getting at. Like with Zack Snyder, it was a special thing because he actually didn't get to finish it, but David Ayer did. There was a lot left on the cutting room floor.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, David Ayer, like every director goes into a movie having this idea of like, this is the movie I want to make. And it is almost never the movie they end up making.
Yeah, you're right.
You're right. It's just the process.
You're 100% right. You're
like I agree with what you're saying, Sheree, but like what Casey's been saying, like every movie has a lot of footage that just won't make it in the film, and it won't even make it onto the Blu-ray or the DVD or for like the deleted scenes. Like there's just stuff that will never be seen.
Well, that's why you have test audiences.
Endgame.
That's why they have tests.
Endgame
you have a test audience.
Yeah.
So you can go in and see what works and then change what doesn't work. I mean, every blockbuster has test screenings for that exact reason. I mean, they just did Shazam and they just did Black Adam, and I'm sure we'll hear about reshoots for those films coming up. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's completely normal. And it really irritates me that like, I feel like David Ayer is taking advantage of the Snyder Cut kind of a little bit.
Yeah,
like,
kind of a little bit. He actually is.
He got his. Like, why don't I get mine? Like, he knows. David Ayer knows that's not how this fucking shit works. Like, he knows that. He knows.
Yeah.
And he still works at WB. Like, David Ayer is still producing projects and still writing scripts for WB as I'm talking to you right now. So all you whiny fucking bitches out there crying like, well, like, oh, A is greater than E and blah, blah, blah. Screw WB. David Ayer is currently writing a script for WB as we're having this conversation.
Yeah.
So, like he doesn't give a fuck. Obviously he doesn't care as much as some of the people out there think.
I'll say that Ayer is more of a professional than Nolan.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Yeah, I mean, like, and again, Nolan is one of those guys who he demands his movie, and that comes with certain sacrifices, right? And that comes with certain like stipulations, and that comes with the potential of creating a $200 million movie that bombs at the box office because you decided.
And to recuperate, a studio has to put all of their movies day and date on their streaming service just to make it even.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, you know what I mean? It's like I understand that there's this like fantasy like idea of how movies are made, and like directors come into a studio and they pitch this idea and everyone loves it and they go, yeah, go make your idea. Here's $200 million. Like, just go. No one's gonna bug
That's
you.
not at
That's
all
not how it
the
goes.
case.
Like, it's never how it goes. Like, no movie is like that. And the problem is too is like we only hear about the bad things. Like, imagine how many studio notes or how many times the studio came in and changed something and it turned out fucking awesome. We never hear
Right.
about that shit.
Right.
So like,
I hate to say this because like long ago I was associated with someone who had his own podcast and everything. He made a point about the Snyder Cut before it became confirmation it was happening. And one of the things he said was that he fears that what this will do, it'll make fans entitled, and in the future we're going to have what's exactly happening right now. What you're talking about, Casey. I hate to admit that fucker's right, but he is.
I said this so long ago that when you greenlit the Snyder Cut, you also entitled a fan base to now think they have a say in the creative process. Now, there are pros and cons, right? The pro is that we get to see the project Zach never got to finish and tribute to Autumn. The con is now fans think that anytime they're unhappy, they try to trend on Twitter and get what they want. That's not how this works.
It's anytime they hear about something in a movie now. It's anytime they hear about anything in a movie now that like got cut or like was changed or like 30 minutes were cut out. It's like now they're all up in arms about the studio came in.
I'm glad this shit doesn't happen in games.
That's why when like people ask Zach, is there a director's cut of Man of Steel? Or is there a director's cut of Army of the Dead? He's like, no, that's the movie that is the director's cut, right?
Right.
Like he put out what he wanted to put out.
That's
right?
probably the best answer to that question moving forward.
Yeah, that's got to be it. That this is the director's cut, right? This is what I wanted. This is what I signed up for. Like when you're a director, you need to be able to compromise. Like there are certain things you need to compromise.
There's this weird. It's just I feel like it's just been the past like 10 years maybe. There's this weird idea, and maybe we should all blame Nolan again. There's this weird idea that directors are somehow like in charge. Like they're in charge of the movie, but that somehow everything that happens in the movie is like ultimately their like decision, or it's ultimately like
it's under their control.
Yeah, or it's under their
executive producers, studio heads.
They're the ones. Ultimately, it's their name, and they're the ones responsible, and they're the ones everyone turns to, and that's certainly the case. And it's their pitch, and it's their vision, it's their whatever. But like, yeah, they're just another employee that has to answer to an executive or a stockholder. Or
you know what? You're right. I will blame Nolan for this.
So yeah, so I mean,
the man is one of the most overrated directors of our time. I'm sorry. I love a good chunk of his movies, but my God, like the man is the embodiment of Christ to some people, and I just don't understand it.
I agree. I think a lot of directors are just like, all right, like you're not
you're not
Scorsese or Spielberg. Like there's like a handful of dudes who can come into a studio and be like, I want this, this, and this, and if you don't give me this, this, and this, I'm not making. But like, even Spielberg, like how long has Black Hawks been in development? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's I don't know. I just feel like so many people, and again, probably Twitter, just everyone's access to this information is to blame. But like, so many of you have no idea how, number one, how hard it is to make a movie, even if you're the world's fucking great. Like J.J. Abrams will even tell you this. The dude is fucking the hottest shit in Hollywood. He can make one movie a year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like.
And it'll be mediocre at best.
It's hard. Yeah, like it's hard. It's fucking hard. So like for everyone out here to say like, well, what WB has, why can't they do Keaton? Why can't they do the Flash and a Snyderverse? Like why can't they do both? Number one, they don't have unlimited money, and like you're asking them to move mountains when they're already fucking moving like hills just for what they have. So
We're
it's like
creating a new valley.
Agreed.
Yeah. So I think we just all need to take a step back and just realize go out and make a movie. See how fucking hard it is. Like, you know what I mean? Like, go try to fucking get like Ben Affleck and all the like. WB shot themselves in the foot. Like they hired megastars. They have like Ben Affleck's megastar. Like Jason Momoa is a megastar. Gal Gadot's a megastar. Like try getting
Ezra
all those people
Miller
in
is
the same fucking,
not so much.
not so much, but yeah.
Ah,
Try getting all those people in the same room together. Like now.
Henry,
Good fucking luck.
yeah,
And
good
do
luck.
it for under $10 million a piece.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Cavill's going to be busy, hopefully being the next James Bond, to not even be able to wear the cape anymore.
Cavill's gonna be busy being The Witcher. Cavill's gonna be busy being Highlander. Cavill's gonna be busy being
He's gonna be
what's
busy doing everything
what's the Mass Effect
except
guy?
Superman.
What's the Mass Effect guy's name?
Shepard?
Shepard. He'll be busy.
No
being
way.
Shepard. I heard that he was their guy for Shepard, or he was
Get
the one that they
out.
wanted.
Casey, get out. I don't believe you. Get out.
Hey man, he talked about it.
No freaking way, dude.
So
I'm sorry.
I
love
don't say I'm not
Cavill.
saying he's it.
I
But,
love
like-
Cavill, and I love the fact that he is a nerd. That is a dub for nerds everywhere. But him as Shepard, like,
Eh.
don't.
Think about it though. Witcher, he's probably got 2 more seasons on The Witcher until they
He actually looks like
do
Geralt.
something else.
He looks like Geralt. He
Yeah.
doesn't look like Shepard.
I mean, I'm not saying he'll be Shepard, but I mean, he's gotten the call about Mass Effect for sure.
I have to ask Casey if you know, is it animated or is it live action?
I
Live
don't
action.
know. I think it's a live action though.
Yeah.
I don't
Damn
know
it!
for sure, but I'm pretty sure it's live action. It's a Netflix thing, right?
Yeah, it's a Netflix
It's
thing.
Netflix.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Netflix making dubs. All right. Well.
All right, guys.
Either way.
We have to wind
So again,
down.
I mean, Cavill is Netflix's guy right now. They're
Yeah.
paying the dude
Yeah.
$1 million an episode or something crazy for.
Yeah. And,
So like, of course they're gonna like, hey, we got this Mass Effect project. We know you're like super into this. Like, you want to take a look at it? Like,
Imagine like them
I mean-
just knowing he's a nerd and they come to him with all the nerdy projects.
or imagine he gets cast in like Rebel Moon.
no.
I don't know.
No, Ray Fisher's
I'm-
already
I'm-
there. He's good.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I mean,
Um,
I don't know. I don't think you see Henry Cavill and Zack Snyder work together ever again,
Again.
or for a very long time.
Interesting. All right, guys. That is the show. That is the show for the night. I do want to say thank you to our guests, and we're going to bring them up one by one so they can let you know where they reside. So we're going to start with Mr. Meta himself.
You can find me on Twitter at the most meta. I am on there frequently. If you want to strike up a conversation about gaming, movies, anime, comics, whatever your heart desires, just DM me or hit me up on there. I'm always active. You can also find me on my YouTube channel, Enter the Metaverse. That's ENTER, Enter the Metaverse, where right now I'm currently in the midst of honestly trying to get a whole new plethora of content to be made for that. I'm in the middle of construction basically. And then on occasion I have a podcast. I have a podcast called Talking Meta podcast where I talk about gaming mostly on my YouTube channel, and I talk about everything else on that podcast. So yeah, if y'all could, it's available on all podcasting platforms. So go ahead and give it a follow. I intend to have more episodes out at some point in the future.
All right. And Eddie.
Oh yeah, you can find me at antisnyder.com and stuff. Nah. I mean, that's what people like saying.
Cherie, I'm not that hard to find anymore. Okay,
Oh.
when I added the enter, it made it easier to find me. Thank you.
But no, you can find me at All My Ideas for Twitter and YouTube. It's that simple, really. And I have been making lots of DCU content lately, among other things. Obviously, when it comes to the DCU content, some people get triggered fast because of my opinions, especially when it comes to a certain director. Even though I'm not biased against them, I'm just telling you the facts. But yeah, that's all you have to know. I love DC, and yeah, that's
and Eddie is actually our new producer. He just doesn't know it yet. Just kidding.
No, I'm not a team guy. I know lots of people are building teams. I'd rather stay away from stuff like that.
It was a joke. No.
I know. I'm just saying somebody
All right.
somebody
Get out of
will
here.
use it against me. Somebody will use it against me.
Yeah, get out of here then. I'm just kidding. I love you. All right. Last but certainly not least, Casey, where can people find you?
You can find me at the Comics Kid. That's comics with an X because I'm lame and stupid. On on Twitter, and that's pretty much the only place you can find me. Good luck.
And at the GWW GWW.com, guys. The guy created the website, so
I mean, I don't do very much there, but sure. Yeah, I
yeah.
tell people to write there.
Yeah.
But I don't, yeah.
And we are, we affiliate ourselves with them as well. And we love it. And we love Casey, and we love having him on the show. He's definitely one of our favorite people to bring on. And every episode with him is a pleasure, as with each of our guests. With that being said, though, I do want to throw a quick shout out to all of the viewers of today's show, live and in the future. You guys are the lifeblood of the Pop Culture Corner and what makes this worth doing. Truly, I love you. And really, like, I can't say thank you enough. 2022 has been fun so far. And it's only going to get better with, all these films releasing, all these things that we need to do, all these things that we have to talk about. It is the golden age to be a comic book fan, or a comic book adaptation fan, at least. Remember, be grateful for what you have, and don't dread what you don't have, right? Don't dread on what you don't have. Be grateful for the things that you do have. And what we do have is a plethora of content. We have 18 Batmen slated for the next couple of years. So, this is just, what a time to be alive. What a time to be alive. Thank you guys so much. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. All the links are in the description below. And if you want to support the channel and help me feed my dog, trust me, he definitely needs food. Hit join below or send a super chat while we're live. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next time.